Hello, hi. So International Women's Day today. So to all you lovely ladies, I congratulate you and celebrate with you. I've been seeing some fantastic posts on social media today about just celebrating some of the amazing stuff that both women on their own, but also what really staggers me is the achievements that some groups of women can kind of get through just the real negativity and thrive where things don't look hopeful and the things that they've achieved as groups, which is amazing. I love watching all that. But today isn't about that. I'm not here to talk to you about that. I wanted to just come on and tell you a little bit more detail about what it is I do and why I do it and who I'm looking to help, because as I regularly write posts which cover particular pain points of people trying to set themselves up in business, but it sort of occurred to me as I was just about to put another post out today that actually explaining on a very basic term what I do and why I do it might be a useful reminder. It's kind of never too often to tell you. So what do I do? So I help women to move from a place where they're probably in a corporate role, they're working like a 9 to 5, they're certainly an employee, move to a place where they can run their own business and they can have a little bit more freedom around when they do their business, how they balance their home life and their work life, and to enable themselves to determine a little bit more flexibly what they earn in terms of the work that they put in and therefore the money that they earn. So why do I do that? Well, I have been that person. So when I first left my corporate role, I was unclear, it's fair to say, on what it was I wanted to do. So I spent some time going for interviews, looking for other roles, until I was chatting with a friend and she suggested coaching to me, or certainly working for myself and find something that I could do that would fit around my family, which would alleviate the stress I was feeling around having to travel and balance home, work, the priorities that I wanted to have and enjoy in my life, but to still be able to sort of be the mum as well. So I came across coaching and kind of progressed that. But for me, I'd only ever been in a corporate world, so I'd had like a protective bubble of people around me at all times. So going it alone was a bit of a culture shock, to say the least. So I had somebody previously that if my computer failed me, I could phone and ask. If my if the network didn't work, if I needed anything, there was normally somebody at the end of the phone somewhere, even if I was working from home, that would help me. I had a clear job description. I had things that I needed to achieve. I was measured against certain things which I would receive regular feedback on. So once I was going it alone, I had to create all those things for myself and had to suddenly get very, very resourceful, which was very distracting from actually learning and kind of doing the thing that I wanted to do. So every time I came up with a problem, it would take me half a day to solve. Well, this seems like a really simple thing. Why can't I create a Facebook ad? Or what do you mean I need an account here as a business owner here? All of these things were distracting me from actually learning what it was I wanted to then take out to the world. So as time's gone on, I have honed what I do to the point where I now help women do what I did. So to go through that initial setup stage, to understand the basics, the foundations of what you need to then be able to take your business forward, to enjoy it, to start having fun with it, to start being passionate about what you do, sharing your message and taking it out there. And I have a couple of ways that I do that, and coaching is commonly talked about. I'm sure we're all aware that coaches are very dominant in the sports world, and from my perspective, I wasn't particularly familiar with sort of professional coaches other than training. And there's lots of different ways that people help others. So there's group coaching, there's one-to-one, there's face-to-face, there's online, there's a combination of the two, and there's everything in between. Retreats are getting very popular, where you go and you kind of have a very intensive period of time really delving into your subject with the coach, and that's facilitated. So let me tell you very briefly what it is I offer, and I guess for each one why I've shaped that. So the first element that I offer is for those that are really early days in their journey. So my dog is itching his ear, which is why it's that weird noise in the back. He can't hear me for me to even tell him off. So my get started is a 2-module course which you can do online, and that is designed to cover literally those first few weeks where you're exploring the idea of coming away from being employed and setting yourself up. So it raises the question around, what is it that you want to do? Where's your skill set? How do you want your work life to look? Do you want to sell? Do you want to work on your own? And it really helps to get those foundational elements narrowed down so that you can make some choices about what it is you want to do. So there's lots of practical elements around the business and what you want to set up and how you go about setting that up. But then there's also a module around you and yourself, because what I found was too easy to do, and this was a mistake that I made, is just to concentrate on that, perhaps learn some of the, I guess, quite technical elements that were going to support the business. But what I didn't do is really any personal development work around me and what I needed, and how I needed to develop as a person to consider myself as the CEO of a small business instead of being an employee of a large business. And that is crucial, because that's laying the foundations of wherever you want to take that. So there's 2 elements to that course, all done online, or you can do that totally in your own time. So there's recorded trainings that you can access, work through. There's a workbook that you can follow through as well. So that's a really great starter, and that is really not very expensive at all. The next stage after that is then the one-to-one coaching, which is my time with you, talking about your business, looking at what you've perhaps covered in the previous course that I talked about, where you're looking to take it, just to really kind of explore that with you. So that's the second element, which is one-to-one. And then the final part is the group coaching. So this is where I take a group of like-minded ladies who are all looking to move themselves forward on their journey. Some might have started, some might be just at that dipping their toe in sort of stage. And we go through a structured module by module, and we go from where they are now to a position where they can set up a solid foundation of a business operation. And that is a period of 8 weeks. So there is weekly calls, there's some homework to do, there's online access, but then importantly there is those weekly calls as well, which are live, so everybody can ask their questions, they get their airtime, and they can talk about their particular business and their questions. But really, you know, a great community is built from that, and they can see how other people are applying certain techniques and what works for them, what works for others, and really get a sense of sort of sharing and going through that process together, which when you're on your own and you're sitting and you're trying to kind of get yourself through these things, it can be absolutely overwhelming. But being able to share that, use the experience that others are having, and be guided through that is a huge relief. So that is the group coaching. So that lasts for 8 weeks. So depending on where you are in your journey will depend on which one is the most appropriate. And I don't necessarily have kind of a defined route that you've got to do that before you do that, before you do that. It's down to where you are and where we think that you want to go, and what's going to be appropriate for you, your life and everything else at the moment. So it's really about having that initial discussion. So I don't put an order form on my business page so that you can just kind of go on it and buy, because I want to make sure that you're going to get value from it. I want to make sure it's right for you. And I do that normally through a quick conversation with you, just to explore what your aims are, what your goals are, and where you're looking to take yourself. It's not supposed to be a hard sell. It is really just so that we both understand what the outcomes are going to look like for you. So that's me, that's what I do, that's why I do it. I hope you are having a fantastic Sunday and enjoying the rest of International Women's Day. I am gearing up for my masterclass on Tuesday, which is on client attraction. So again, that's one very small strategic element of what I include generally in the courses. So that's really about bringing your clients towards you and making sure that the right people are talking to you about your products, your services. So that's happening over in the group. If you haven't joined already, use the button at the top of this business page to join in the group. And I hope to see you then on Tuesday morning. Have a great Sunday. Bye.